Buenas a todos y bienvenidos al canal Gran Capi. Como podéis ver, seguimos en Siberia y estábamos en este refugio. Acabamos de hablar con estos hombres, con los científicos. Voy a ver aquí.
I need to add more wood in the fire. Looks all good to me. Impossible. That one is loose.
Hombre, cosa nueva que tenemos.
Better try another one. Looks all good to me. Wow, I've never seen a stove like this. It must be one of Herr Gustav's inventions that everyone talks about down in Wagen. It's not enough. I need to feed the fire more. Looks all good to me. This mechanism controls the air intake, if I remember correctly. The airflow seems right now, but I think the fire is too weak.
Bueno, vamos a ver.
Perfectly dry. Perfectly dry. Those paintings. I think Herr Gustav wanted me to help him choose the one he should buy. He must have left me a note somewhere.
Tengo que pedirte un favor. El joven león, el alpinista, está intentando engatusarme con uno de sus cuadros. Los hace en su tiempo libre. Reconozco que no son obras maestras, pero están bien pintados. Al menos se distingue lo que muestran y me encantaría colgar uno en mi pared. Además, León es un tipo decente y atrae a la clientela. El caso es que pensé que como tu padre los vende y yo no entiendo del tema, a lo mejor tú podrías ayudarme. Gracias de antemano, Gustav. Bueno, sé que hay que elegir un
I
cuadro.
should take a closer look at those paintings before choosing one. I think I'll pick this one.
Bueno, quería haberlo mirado, pero bueno, he elegido esto.
So glad Herr Gustav likes me to play for the clients. This way at least I won't get rusty. There's no one to serve upstairs. And besides, there's still much to do down here. I don't want to let Herr Gustav down.
A bit more to the side, darling, please.
Another creation of Herr Gustav. I guess he won't mind if I take a quick look. Madonna laces. The Silberspiegel, the heart-shaped rock face that gave its name to the refuge. According to Herr Gustav, only the most seasoned alpinists can climb it. The highest peak in the region. Little Lenny said that it's the keeper of the border with Switzerland, and that it's supposed to feed on the souls of those who have been swept away by the mountain. This path leads to Switzerland. One needs to be guided by an alpinist to go through it, though. The Devil Pass starts here. The end of the road for an inexperienced hiker like me, I guess.
Bueno, pues ya está completo esto. Vale.
Come on, Leon. Show me your energy, your youth. Oh dear, you look more like my old Aunt Helga.
¿Eso es tuyo?
Lenny,
Crikey, you nearly had me jump out of my skin.
what have you got there?
Oh, it's a camera lens, that's all.
A camera lens. Doesn't belong to you, though, does it, Lenny? Lenny?
Didn't say it did. It's Frau Junter's, if you want to know.
Who is this Frau Junta, anyway?
Ginger Junter, over there.
She married?
Oh no, too old to marry now. She's way past 20, you know. That's why she likes filming Leon, because he's young and handsome.
Lenny?
And she never lets me have a go of her gear anyway. I only wanted to help her film something. I bet she's jealous.
A ver, ¿por qué te interesa?
Lenny, what's so special about Frau Junta's equipment that makes you want to steal it?
Borrow it.
All right, borrow it.
Can't you see? Who would be interested in Ginger Junta if she didn't have a camera, huh? She's too old for Leon. She uses it so she can be the centre of attention, you know.
Is that what you want?
No, not exactly. Besides, there's nothing to do here.
I do understand, Lenny, but
No, you don't. Feels like a prison here sometimes, all on my own. When I grow up, I'll live at the top of a building in the big city, and I'll have a swimming pool on my roof.
believe me, I do understand, Lenny. Because of my coughing fits, I've sometimes had to stay in my room for weeks on end. Imagine that, nothing to see but the same four walls.
Oh, right. Must have been pretty tough, I guess.
That's why I took up the piano. Do you like doing anything special, Lenny?
I suppose I like making stuff with Papa. He's got ever such clever hands, you know. But he's always so busy in the summer.
Let's be friends then, shall we?
You won't tell on me then?
Not now that we're friends.
You promise?
I promise.
There, like that. Try not to move now, darling.
Better not interrupt them. That Frau Junta wasn't exactly friendly earlier with Lenny. I think Herr Gustav would not like it if I left the refuge during the service. so I had better stick around.
Bueno, esto es fácil, ¿no?
That's it. I'm done here. I've done all that Herr Gustav told me to do. I'd better go and tell him.
All right.
Fine. No more orders and everyone's served.
That's the go. Now listen, Dana. I know, you know, the brown shadow is dangerous, right? So for heaven's sake, keep your feelings to yourself. And refrain from answering her burger back like you did, eh? The brown shadow is not something you can just chit-chat about.
But
Look, it's not safe. And it will only come back and bite you. Mark my words, Dana. Especially in today's climate.
I only...
Dana, I know. Just be careful. No one wants problems with fascists. You get my drift? And may I remind you that I warned you earlier when you asked me for advice. So I'll tell you one last time. Don't get drawn in. Do you hear me, Dana? So, young lady, you're still off to the academy in the fall, are you not? What you waiting for, then? Get back to your practicing and play us a nice tune while you're at it.
All right then, I will. Thank you, Herr Gustav.
Play something melodious this time. It'll make a nice change from the military pieces some of the patrons have been requesting of late.
Well, Herr Gustav did a pretty good job repairing that key I broke yesterday. Oh, gosh, I hope I haven't...
Bravo! Bravo! Bravo!
Bravo. Bravo.
Clap? How can you clap? Oh, so you like the noise, do you? Do you? Well, you should be ashamed! Ashamed, I say! To applaud the music of a treacherous Polish separatist! Rebel rousing! It's this kind of rebel rousing that puts the poison of Marxist Bulgarian ideology in the minds of honest people! And those who partake in its vulgarization are accessories to treason!
You are drunk, Herr Hoss.
Out of my way, boy.
Come, Fraulein. Best clear off until the dust settles.
You should have seen me then, Fräulein Walker. I was so young and eager to witness whatever could happen between Dana and Leon. I needed to know, to be included, one way or another.
Lenny, don't. Give them some space, would you?
Oh, Lenny, why don't you leave the piano to those who actually know how to play it, huh?
Shouldn't you be in bed?
Don't you have some dolls to dress or something?
A blasted fight. That's all I need.
Dana did a good job. It's nice and warm in here now, but maybe a bit too much for Herr Hoss. So, that's the painting Dana thinks father should buy from Leon. Nice choice.
Bueno, vamos arriba. Todas vuestras cosas sean hechas con amor. Muy bien. El atleta local León Kovatis consiguió sorprendentemente el oro en slalom masculino de los Juegos Olímpicos de Invierno en Garmisch-Partenkirchen el sábado pasado, tras el estrepitoso fracaso de los dos favoritos. El noruego Bond se hizo con la plata. Bueno, todo esto viene hablando de Leo, el atleta. Kovatis sigue los pasos de Mark Schaffer, ya que es la segunda persona de este país en conseguir un oro en el slalom masculino de las Olimpiadas. Muy bien. ¿Qué más por aquí?
I'm so glad I started this collection of photos. When I grow up, I'll travel all around the world and photograph everywhere I go. When I'm old, the wall will be covered with them. Honestly, Junta is not that good. I'm sure I could do better if only I could practice a bit.
Vale, pues esto.
You all right? Yeah, I thought so.
It's just that if I had retaliated, I would have lost my job, you know? Believe me, I came this close to not being able to pay for my studies at the academy after the holidays.
Forget it. He was blind drunk. Won't even remember it come tomorrow. All Gustav could see it wasn't your fault. Besides, you didn't see him after your performance. Ecstatic he was.
There are more and more people like that brute. They don't even bother to hide their hatred anymore. It's like they've been given a mission, or perhaps I should say permission, to abuse people like me, as if Vagarans had suddenly become the scourge of society. And we're powerless to act because if we did, we'd lose our home. My parents, they've become a bundle of nerves. They can't sleep at night. Only last week, our shop window got smashed again, and our neighbors, they couldn't care less. And neither could the authorities. What's wrong? Did my rant frighten you?
Well, yes. Yes, it did. I mean, not you, Fraulein. But what you said about the fascists. You've put my own suspicions into words, Fraulein. Because what you say about the Brown Shadow is true, and that's what worries me. I used to think they were just a bunch of cranks in their ridiculous uniforms. But now I can see these lunatics really are serious. Deadly serious.
But you did know who was behind the Origin expedition.
Never gave it much thought, to be honest. Only met Huss and the scientists today. For me, they were no different from any other group I've trained. If I'd have known that, I'd have had second thoughts. Actually, do you know what?
What?
I'm going to stop training you.
Can you do that?
It's still a free country, right? So after a few weeks' notice, I'll be off the hook. At least, I get to spend the summer here with you. Painting.
But I don't paint.
No, you play. I paint. It's my passion. And you can be my muse.
Is that what you say to all the girls?
No. Never.
Hello, you two lovebirds. Everyone's going to bed, so you better come back inside or you'll catch cold, or worse.
And that's how Dana pipped everyone at the post. It only took one look for Leon to fall head over heels in love with her. And it didn't take much for Dana to fall for him. Love at first sight, you might say.
Bueno, volvemos a otoño de 2005.
The whole band stayed at the chalet all summer long. Then, I suppose, everyone went their own sweet way.
Did you ever see any of them again?
Oh, no.
What about Dana and Leon?
They too went their own ways, I guess. And that, Fräulein Walker, is all there is to it.
Se dejó algo Dana.
Do you know if she's still alive?
Can't be sure, but I doubt it. It was a lifetime ago, Fräulein Walker.
Where do you think she might be if she were?
No idea. Things went from bad to worse after that summer. Not to mention half the town was razed during the war.
Did Dana leave anything here? Any documents or anything that might help me find where she went?
Not that I know of. But I suppose there might be in Father's old coffer. Must still be in the loft. Junta bought it from him that summer, so she could use it to store her precious filming gear. She was supposed to come back for it, but she never did. If there is anything that can help you, it will be in there. So feel free to look around the refuge by yourself if you like, even though I don't think anyone managed to open the coffer since Junta left.
Thank you, Demoiselle Lenny. Thank you so much.
Bueno, ya estamos aquí.
It's not the time to take the tram back. There's still a lot to do here. Maintaining the refuge must be a huge job. As tough as Lenny is, I hope she has some help when she needs it. That must lead to the other side of the circus. The authorities have closed the path due to excavation works on the other side of the mountain. Suits me. I wasn't exactly planning on climbing a mountain today anyway.
Debido a un reciente descubrimiento al pie del camino conocido como Paso del Diablo, se ha procedido a cerrar dicho camino para facilitar los trabajos de excavación. Para evitar cualquier riesgo de accidente y garantizar la seguridad pública, queda terminantemente prohibido el acceso al Paso del Diablo. Hasta nuevo aviso, órgano gestor del Parque Nacional de las Montañas de Waage. Bueno, que está cerrado el paso, ya está. Pues vamos.
Dazzling up here. I can see why they call it the Silberspiegel. Silber means silver, and Spiegel is mirror. The silver mirror. It certainly lives up to its name.
Usar alguna moneda, ¿no? Algo.
I have to put in a coin. Typical.
Vale, no tengo moneda.
That must be the piano Dana played on the night she met Leon. The night Lenny told me about.
Ah, I see I'm not the only one stuck here. Bah, pull up a seat and together we can moan about being stuck here.
Thank you, but I have things to do.
I hope you can stay until this evening at least. In London they have the changing of the guard. Here we get the changing of the colors. I guarantee it's worth the wait. Hmm? English?
American, actually.
Oh, seeing as you've come so far, then. Besides, it's always nicer to be stranded in good company. From Belgium, myself, on a world climbing tour.
Stranded?
Didn't you know? They've closed the Teufelskragen. That's the path they call the Devil's Pass.
So that's what all the fuss is about.
All down to climate change.
You mean the thaw, right?
Made the path too dangerous to climb and apparently resulted in a morbid discovery.
Oh?
Bodies of resistance fighters, killed while leading refugees to Switzerland. Frozen solid.
Resistance fighters? You mean frozen since the Second World War?
That's what the paper says.
Is that what the tent's for?
It's a temporary chapel of rest that the rescue team made while waiting for the bodies to be airlifted out.
I see. I guess there's no reason to disrespect the departed, even after all these years.
I only hope all this sudden interest from excavationists puts an end to the stupid rumors that a strange creature haunts the Silberspiegel. Otherwise, you can be sure as soon as the old lady pops her clogs, this place will become run over by those infernal tourists.
Can you tell me about this Devil's Pass?
Oh, it's on the far side of the cirque, looking out from the terrace. As you can imagine, it's called Devil's Pass because it's extremely dangerous. Most of all because of the risk of avalanche. Only seasoned alpinists can negotiate it, really. As a professional alpinist myself, what I love about it is knowing I'm climbing in the tracks of courageous climbers of bygone times. There's a real sense of history about it. For example, resistance fighters used it during the war to smuggle vagrants and other victims of the Brown Shadow into Switzerland.
Is that the path they've closed that leads from the refuge?
That's right.
Thought so. I saw the notice.
They've blocked it off so the helicopter can airlift the frozen bodies from the bottom of the pass. Meantime, they have set up a temporary chapel of rest, as you can see.
Well, that's moving. It's important to show respect, even after all these years. I've had some experience with fantastic fauna myself. But what do you make of the so-called strange creature that roams the mountain?
Just another local fairy tale to pull in the tourists, if you ask me. They say it lives in prehistoric caves. And that it's responsible for people going missing. Ooh. Some even say that the mysterious cries you can hear on some nights are the creature calling for a mate. In other words, the usual twaddle you normally get in remote or uncharted places like the high mountain or the deep sea. Twaddle passed down from generation to generation through sheer ignorance.
Surely, from what I read on the way here, the cries could come from an animal native to the area, couldn't they?
That is my thinking exactly. No doubt a bear with something caught in his throat. It happens, you know. Probably scared a tourist one evening, or... maybe it was young pranksters.
What about those frozen bodies they discovered at the foot of Devil's Pass?
Well, due to climate change, the snow line has receded, revealing the bodies trapped in the ice since the Second World War. Most probably resistance fighters and exiles, trying to flee the fascist occupiers and reach Switzerland by the pass. I imagine they got caught in an avalanche. Poor wretches have been imprisoned ever since. Until today. That is why the authorities have blocked access to the pass, so they can take the bodies out, identify them, and give them a proper burial.
Right. Thanks for cluing me in. Anyway, I better get back to what I was doing.
You are welcome, Fräulein.
Lenny's father must have made this stair lift to help her get up and down the stairs. Must have taken him many hours. It's touching when you think about it.
Bueno, vamos arriba, ¿no?
Lenny's father must have made this stair lift to help her get up and down the stairs. Must have taken him many hours. It's touching when you think about it. Dormitories. I wonder how many people stop at the refuge these days.
A ver, quiero examinar este libro.
An old book? The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann? Funny. My grandparents left me a copy before they died when I was a kid. I should get around to reading it someday. An old book? The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann? Funny. My grandparents left me a copy before they died when I was a kid. I should get around to reading it someday. This must be Lenny's room. Not sure I'm allowed in here, really.
El atleta León Kovatis consiguió sorprendentemente el oro en el slalom masculino de los Juegos Olímpicos de Invierno. Vale, bueno, esto ya lo hemos visto antes.
Keep your servant also from willful sins. May they not rule over me. Then I will be blameless, innocent of great transgression. Sweet.
Preserva también a tu siervo de las soberbias, que no se enseñoren de mí. Entonces seré íntegro y estaré limpio de gran rebelión. Vale.
That's pretty impressive. Obviously helps Lenny get up and about. Photos of the refuge. Looks like they're arranged by time period. There are no photos of the occupation of Vaughan by the Brown Shadow. I guess that corresponds to when Lenny and her father had to leave the refuge. These date from before the war. There's even one from the summer when Dana worked at the refuge. All these photos go up to the 80s, including my date of birth. This series ends at 2002, 3 years ago, when I began my journey with Oscar and Hans's train.
Vale, bueno, pues ya está.
She's still sitting there, watching. Wonder what she's thinking about. It's cold in here. Austere. Looks like a storage room. Austere. Looks like a storage room. Another of those cigar butts. There. But who could have left it open? So that's the painting Dana told Lenny's father to buy. Not bad. And similar in style to my painting. Wonder what the others were like. Take-up reel. Like the ones used on old cinema projectors.
Documentos. Querido Herr Gustav Renner, en respuesta a su carta del 3 de agosto nos complace a anunciarle que para la factoría Vorarlberg sería un honor ayudar a su hija Leni tras las circunstancias trágicas que resultaron en su incapacidad. Al igual que yo, mi padre y mi hermano Hans habrían admirado su coraje y su abnegación durante los duros años que han atormentado recientemente a la vieja Europa. Yo estoy orgullosa por partida doble de que Leni sea la hija de nuestros antiguos empleados con más talento. Es por eso que la factoría Vorarlberg ha decidido responder favorablemente a su solicitud. Adjunto los planos de construcción que le permitirán adaptar todo el refugio de la montaña a la discapacidad de Leni. Atentamente, Ana Vorarlberg. Vale. Pues ya... ¡Ey! Ah, esto tiene unos planos. Bueno, esto lo asiento. Esto es una ficha.
I must remember to ask Lenny about it. Don't want to break my neck, thank you very much. Don't want to break my neck, thank you very much.
Este es el baúl.
This must be Yunta's coffer, the one Lenny spoke about.
Bueno, esto... A probar y probar. Lo hemos abierto. Ahora se ha abierto un mecanismo. Bueno, tiene esto, así que no podemos ver. Vale.
Amazing. Now it shows the view from the terrace.
Bueno, encuentro los códigos, vamos. Vamos a hablar con la mujer.
If this goes on, I'll end up reading my way through the entire bookcase.
Reminds me of Hans's automatons in Valladolid.
What now, Fräulein? I was just about to doze off.
Leon Cobatis.
How did you meet Leon Cobatis?
Why do you ask? You from the police or something?
No. I just thought I'd ask, since you seem to appreciate him. Didn't you?
Fräulein, when I said you could look in the guest rooms, it didn't include my room. But yes, like I said before, he was a regular customer even before the episode with Dana. To me, he was like a movie star. What young girl wouldn't be bowled over by a young, handsome alpinist? And to top it off, an Olympic medalist?
Can you tell me about the Resistance medal with your name on it?
Sure, I was in the Resistance. Not for those medals, though. Nothing but tin charms. You see, there's those who received medals, and those that were killed. And besides, they aren't gonna give me my legs back, are they?
No, but they prove you played a part in the liberation of your country.
Puh, nonsense. Nothing but bad memories. I'd rather not talk about it.
About Yunta's coffer.
What about it?
La combinación.
You wouldn't happen to know the combination, would you?
I told you before, I don't know it.
Where did the coffer in the loft come from?
In fact, Father made it himself during the long winter evenings. He wanted something more elegant and solid than the old family coffer where he kept the takings. So he made the one upstairs, thanks to the techniques he learned when he worked in the Vorarlberg factory in Valladolid.
Valladolid in France?
That's right. The price Junta paid was equivalent to a month's worth of takings. Money well spent, though, because it was built like a mountain fortress.
I'll be going then.
Una moneda, tío.
I have to put in a coin. Typical.
Must have got it wrong.
A ver. Bueno, una foto.
That's the fabled Silberspiegel. Oh, I wish I had time to watch it change color.
Vale, venga. A ver, más.
So that's what they call the Devil's Pass. The bodies of the resistance fighters that the Alpinist mentioned must be in...
Vale, yo creo que ya está. Vale, ya está, ya no me deja ir hacia allá. Vale, bueno, pues yo creo que ya tenemos todas las fotos.
So much going on in these mountains. Now and before. But I'd better get back on track, or I'll end up renting a room from Demoiselle Lenny and explore the area.
If you get a chance, have a look at the Silberspiegel at sunset. The colors are remarkable.
Reminds me of Hans's automatons in Valladolid.
Nada, macho. Subir, venga.
Dormitories. I wonder how many people stop at the refuge these days.
A ver, este sería como el corazón, ¿no? Que habla la chica. Este. Que es 72. Vale. Vamos a ver si es esto. A ver, que me lío. Vale, ya está. 0,72, ¿no?
Amazing. Now it shows the view from the terrace.
Joder, pues ya no sé entonces, tío. Y el otro, que parece con unos picos. Esto, ¿no? 108. Vale.
A film developing company. They probably developed Yunta's films and sent them back once they were done. No doubt Yunta must have written this. Summer 1937. The year Dana worked here. Let's see. I filled my last diary last night. Ordered another one, but still waiting for supplies to be delivered to the refuge. Using an old envelope in the meantime. Today invited Dana for a chat after her shift.
Bueno, ahora cambiamos y vamos a verano de 1937.
I'd like to know what Leon sees in her. I've never seen him so smitten. Thanks for popping up, Dana. How did the shift go?
Fine, same as usual.
Just finishing up here, then I'll make us a nice cup of tea.
Wow, that looks futuristic. What is it?
Ah, that little baby is my viewer. That's why it goes in the coffer.
What does it do?
I use it to put together and edit the rushes.
The what?
Rushes. In other words, the strips of unedited footage. I've finished today's selection, so be a dear and put it in the coffer, would you?
I would if I knew how.
Oh, just turn the key in the lock.
A ver, gracias al documento que encontró Kate en 2005 podría revivir los acontecimientos del pasado que este describe. Usa la información que tuvo Dana en el pasado para avanzar con Kate. Haz clic en el botón para cambiar entre Kate y Dana. Pues vamos allá. Bueno, pero esto ya lo haremos en el siguiente capítulo de Siberia. Si te gusta este vídeo, no olvides suscribirte y dale un like si te ha gustado. No te cuesta nada y me ayuda un montón.